All right, people, what's going on? Good afternoon. Got to talk about this one for a little bit. I'll be perfectly honest, I'm not overly enthused to talk about this one. Just going to be completely real here because number one, the odds don't look great. I'm not feeling great about Washington's chances. I'll just go ahead and admit that right now. I'm interested to see what they might be able to put together. I'm interested to see how they approach this game. But in terms of our chances of actually making something good happen, I don't love it. And also, second to that, because of mistakes made in recent weeks by this Huskies team, even if they do find a way to win it, it probably doesn't actually matter that much. And you put those two things together, it's hard to really get it up for this one. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to try. I am going to be streaming this game to watch along tomorrow. So see you guys there, but it's tough. All right, guys, before I go any further, I want to tell you guys about my buddies over at Sleeper. And let me tell you, if you're not using Sleeper for daily fantasy football, you are missing out. Check out the left side of your screen right now. Look at all the fun stuff you can get up to. Look at all the stuff you can pick one way or the other on. I've got an entry for this week, the Thanksgiving week of football. We got George Pickens over 75.5 yards against Kansas City. I got Chase Brown and JSN scoring anytime touchdowns in their respective games. And I've got Josh Allen throwing for at least 2 touchdowns against Pittsburgh. Get on over there. You can put together bet slips just like this one. And if you use promo code SBN, that is SBN, you can get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Check out Sleeper today. Go put your picks down and have fun with sports this year. Okay, so Oregon Ducks coming up to Washington to play the Huskies. Ducks, either the number 5 or number 6 team in the country, depending on which ranking system you use. And it's funny because I think about 3 weeks ago, I had multiple Duck fans tell me that they expected to lose this game because at that point in time, Washington was looking pretty good. I guess Oregon was looking a little shaky. They were very lucky to beat Iowa. They obviously they lost to Indiana. They were also kind of lucky to beat a Penn State team that it turns out is very bad. And the vibes have completely shifted since then. So I don't know how Ducks fans feel about this game, but I noticed where the vibes were 3 weeks ago, and they're in a very different place from how they are now. And I can tell you that as a Huskies fan, I'm going into this one pretty much expecting to lose. Now, Oregon, there's plenty to say about them, but overall they're just a phenomenal team. Maybe they're not as dominant as they've been in some recent years, but they maintain that elite offense that is just so hard to stop. They have like 3 different really good running backs, and somehow none of them are Mekhi Hughes, who was supposed to be the big shot this year. He's done like nothing, and their running game is still unstoppable. Noah Whittington, I guess he's the lead back, but it's like 3 different guys that can get the ball and get it done. Dante Moore, I don't think that he's as good as a guy like a Bo Nix. There have been better Oregon quarterbacks in recent memory, but he's still very good. And Sadiq might be the most dangerous pass catcher Oregon has had in at least some years now. I think he's more of a threat as a target than even like a guy like a Troy Franklin. I know the numbers might not be there, but there are a couple different reasons for that. I think Sadiq he might be more dangerous than even somebody like a Troy Franklin. So they're very good up there. They have that system that makes it so the quarterback almost never gets hit. And overall, I don't think this Washington defense, while it hasn't been terrible this year or anything, I don't know if they can stop the run against a team like Oregon. So it kind of feels like a little bit of a non-starter there. Like, yeah, maybe we can make some plays in the secondary on Oregon's passing game, but we got to get to the passing game. I don't have a lot of confidence we're going to be able to stop the run. So it feels kind of moot. Like, even if we do manage to get to that point, by the way, there's no guarantee. It's not like this Huskies team is stacked in the secondary. It's not like we're going back to the days of Marcus Peters. They got some players that I like, some players that are good, but it's certainly not like I wouldn't call it an even match at all. And then defensively, Oregon, I'll say this, they're not a big time playmaking defense, maybe. They average less than 2 sacks a game. They've got a handful of interceptions on the season, so they're not going to make a lot of splash plays, maybe, but when it comes to preventing the other team from moving the ball and scoring points, they are one of the best. Now, this Washington offense, it's been very good this year, but how healthy are these guys? We know that they're not 100% for sure. Maybe they play. What are they going to be able to do? Is it going to be like last week with Coleman where he played a tiny bit and it seemed obligatory more than anything else and he clearly wasn't right? Like, is that what we're getting? And even if guys like that can play, does it really matter? Because this offensive line is still incredibly beat up. And this Oregon team does have some notable players on that front that we're going to have to deal with, like Ugalele, the Mateo. We don't have our. I don't expect to have our tackles in this game. At least one of them is going to be out, possibly both. So I don't see how we stop that. You got Thieneman back there as a safety. You've got. I don't know. It just feels like too much. Maybe if Washington was fully healthy offensively, we could at least keep up. I don't think we'd win, but I think that would be fun. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think both teams could score like 40 points maybe. But when you're talking about this Oregon defense going up against a team that may not have Denzel Boston or might have him but not really have him, might not have Jonah Coleman, and even if they do have him, they might not really have him, and the offensive line with all the stuff going on there, it's just harder to imagine. Like, we know that this Washington offense can be taken out. Several teams have done it, right? Ohio State, Michigan, we basically did nothing against those two teams. And part of me expects them to do better than that, but I don't think it'll be enough. I just don't. So I know Oregon's favored by 7.5 points. I know the game's at home, and Washington's been a very good home team in the last several years, but to be perfectly honest, I just don't think we can keep up. I just don't. And again, even if we do find a way to win this game, if we find a way to score the upset, now guess what? Oregon's probably still making the playoff, and Washington probably still is not because we lost to Wisconsin, and that's kind of where this whole thing comes from, right? I know Wisconsin was 3 weeks ago, but you can't outrun the how bad that game was. You cannot outrun how awful that game was in a circumstance where this Huskies team had a chance to maybe go make something of this season and at least make this game count for something really big, like a playoff spot could have been on the line. Now, there is a very good chance it's not even on the table. You would need other teams to lose, like a team like a Texas would have to crash and burn incredibly hard. Probably a couple other teams as well. I guess Georgia Tech already kind of did, but you might need them to lose another game. So I'm going to watch. I'm going to stream the watch along. We're going to have fun. I'm going to hope we do good. I'm going to hope we win because in college football, everyone helps with recruiting. Everyone helps make it more likely things go your way in the future. And getting a better bowl game would be nice, but man, would have been nice if we had just beaten Wisconsin. All right, see you guys later. Bow down. See you guys tomorrow for this game.